Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. This presentation is going to be represented by Group 1 and it's going to be about how iPad affects students. First, let me start by introducing myself. My name is Ahmed Attaj and I will be introducing you guys to the topic of how iPads affect students. Before we dive into our topic, let me ask a quick question. Which one do you guys actually prefer? Using an iPad or using a physical note in your classes? Regardless of your answer, both are okay. iPads have become widely used in schools because they give students easy access to information, educational apps, and digital textbooks. Many teachers believe that iPads make lessons more engaging and help students feel more motivated and confident. However, iPads can also cause distractions such as games, social media, and unequal access to technology that may create learning gaps. Therefore, the impact of iPads on education depends on how effectively they are used and managed. This report explores both the positive and negative effects of iPads on student learning and academic performance. In addition, the study emphasizes the importance of setting clear guidelines for iPad use in classrooms to reduce distractions and encourage productive learning. It highlights the responsibility of teachers and schools in monitoring student activity and integrating technology in a structural way. The report also discusses how excessive reliance on iPads may reduce face to face interactions, critical thinking, and note taking skills if not properly balanced. Furthermore, effective use of iPads requires proper teacher training, well designed lesson plans, and clear educational objectives. When used appropriately, iPads can support collaborative learning, personalized instructions, and independent research. However, without proper supervision, students may become overly dependent on technology, which could negatively affect concentration and academic discipline. Overall, the report stresses the need for a balanced approach that combines digital tools with traditional teaching methods to maximize learning outcomes and ensure that iPads enhance rather than replace effective classroom learning.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Abu Sufyan bin Muhammad Asari. Today I'm going to talk about the background of the problem, which is consists of the cause and effect of the problem. So the root of the problem lies in the misuse of technology. As noted by TAPA 2025, the primary cause of the distraction is the easy access to non-academic content like social media and gaming during lessons. When a student has an iPad in front of them, the temptation to switch from a textbook to a game or a social feed is only a tap away. This creates a split attention effect. Instead of engaging with the teacher's explanation, the student is mentally as well. This does not just waste time, it actively reduces the student's ability to concentrate during lesson. Essentially, the device stops being a tool for learning and becomes a barrier to it. So, the effects are twofold. First, we see a direct hit to academic performance. As Bala and Sri 2025 highlights, students who are focused on their screens miss the building blocks of a lesson, like the explanations, the examples, and the specific instructions. Because learning is a cumulative process, missing one key concept make it nearly impossible to follow the next. This leads to misunderstanding of core topics, low score on assignment or exam, and incomplete notes which make revision much harder later on. Secondly, as Martin 2025 points out, it causes superficial understanding. Students become less engaged and find it difficult to focus for long periods. This results in rush work and a dangerous inability to retain knowledge. In short, these digital habits are compromising the very education the technology was meant to support. To summarize, while digital tools have potential, their misuse for non-educational content is a dangerous behavior for academic growth. It leads to a cycle of poor concentration, misinformation, and ultimately a failure to reach one's full academic potential. We must find ways to bridge this gap and ensure technology remains a bridge to knowledge, not a wall. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad Daniel Safwan bin Ahmad Safri. My metric number is A25KA0052. For this section, I will be talking about 3.0 possible solution for the topic that we talk about. So firstly is instructional and cognitive solutions. Secondly is classroom management and digital citizenship. Thirdly is institutional and policy solutions. And lastly is health and well-being mitigation. To improve learning in digital age, educators should continue to emphasize the importance of handwriting. Research shows that handwriting supports memory, literacy development, and fine motor skills, and overall cognitive growth, especially in early education. Handwritten note taking during lectures helps students to understand and retain information more effectively. However, keyboards should still be used when appropriate, such as for writing long assignments that require speed and editing. Digital tools like pens and styluses can combine the benefits of handwriting with digital technology, as long as students are comfortable using them. In addition, AI-based real-time feedback systems can support learning by providing personalized guidance, particularly in complex subjects such as geometry. And overall, combining handwriting, digital tools, and technology creates a balanced and effective learning approach. To reduce technology-related distractions in the classroom, teachers should use a clear and proactive management strategies. These include rules such as keeping laptop lids partially closed during instruction, monitoring student screens, and using classroom software to block distracting content. Schools should apply balanced mobile phone policies. Although strict bans can reduce distractions, they may limit students' ability to develop self control. Therefore, educators should focus on teaching digital citizenship and responsible device use, supported by clear rules and consequences. The five C's framework, child, content, calm, crowding out, and communication, helps guide appropriate technology use. It ensures that digital tools support learning, maintain emotional balance, and, and do not replace important social interaction or hands-on activities.
Imagine a classroom where students hold an iPad. Each of them has iPad. Are they learning more or just scrolling more? That is a question we'll explore today in our presentation. How iPad affects students. Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Nur Ahmad Fazil, and I will continue my previous teammate presentation about possible solution. Okay, in school today, iPad are widely used. They are given access to information, interactive apps, and digital textbook. Many teachers believe that many lessons are more engaging and really help students to understand better. But there is a challenge. Students can also get distracted by games and social media. Unequal access to device can even widen learning gap. So iPad are both. It can be a very powerful tools and also a potential distraction. The main issue is misuse. Instead of focusing on lesson, students often browse social media and playing their favorite games. This reduces concentration and weaken student study habits. As a result, they miss the explanation, they misunderstood the concept, and also perform poorly in exams. In short, digital distraction lead to poor focus, incomplete notes, and weak academic performance. Yeah, to solve this, we need a balanced approach that involves teacher, parents, schools, and student themselves. Okay, I have two potential solutions in two different scopes. First of all is scope of institutional and policy solution. In this scope, we highlight that teacher must be trained to use iPad for a real subject task, not for just entertainment. Okay, for example, teacher can use iPad to stimulate their science experimental or analyze their data that they want to search. So student can keep engaged academically with this method on this way. Alright. Other than that, we must have a very strong structure to make sure such internet, a reliable internet, and complete digital resources that can prevent students from drifting to games and social media while suddenly the lesson will be lag due to poor connectivity. So the reliable connectivity is really help students to focus more. Okay. Other than that, we must have an equal access where government can provide all school and make sure they use iPad not just for drills, but for higher skill order, like coding, or they can do data analysis and creativity. This can really ensure technology benefit every student and not just for a privileged few. Alright, now let's move to the second scope of possible solution, which is scope of health and well-being mitigations. In this scope, we want to show how parents-teacher collaboration can really make it. How? Okay, when in school day, teachers giving students the exercise, can give them homework to bring home. Then at home, parents can play their role by make sure the children is doing their homework, doing their exercise well by not distracted by other social media like TikTok, Instagram, and other things. Okay, before they complete their homework and exercise. Okay, other than that, we must have protect student health. We know that prolonged iPad can really make cause of eye strain, can even poor concentration, and musculoskeletal issues. Right? By all these things, schools should encourage regular break, okay, and make sure they even have awareness, okay, of healthy screen habit. So make sure they can bring up some banners, they can post up some poster advertise to really make students realize that really have a bad habit on screen can affect their study and their health. Okay, and lastly is ergonomic solution. In this part, the thing is comfortable tools matter. Government and school should provide student with a good uh, things that can really comfort them, like child-size headset, styluses, and flexible classroom setup, where they can put like standing desk or bend back corner. So the student can really enjoy and really help them to stay focused without physical discomfort here and there. So uh, is the iPad tools or a distraction? Okay, the answer depend on how we use it. Will with proper collaboration, training, infrastructure, and health measures, iPad can boost creativity, focus, and academic achievement. Without them, the risk undermining learning. The key takeaway is simple, like technology should support education, not replace them. Let's make sure iPad help students succeed, not hold them back. That is all for me. Thank you.
So, in conclusion, while the iPad holds great promise as a learning tool in our schools, its true value is not automatic. It depends entirely on how we choose to use and manage it. This report has explored both sides of the story, showing that the iPad is like a double-edged sword. On one side, it can open doors to world of informations, interactive lessons, and creative applications that make learning exciting and personal. On the other side, without careful guidance, it can easily become a source of distraction, pulling students' attention away from the lessons toward games, social media, and entertainment. The key findings we have discussed highlight a clear problem. When students are distracted by non-educational content on the devices, their learning suffers. They miss important explanations from teachers, find it hard to concentrate for long periods, and often ends up with weaker understanding for materials. This is naturally leads to challenges in completing assignments and performing well in exams. The effects go beyond just the grades. It can impact students' confidence and their ability to build a strong study habits. However, this doesn't mean we should remove these powerful tools from the classroom. Instead, the solution lies in balance and smart integration. As we have seen, there are many practical steps that teachers, schools, and families can take. Teachers can use classroom management strategies and design engaging task-focused lessons that make the iPad a necessary part of learning, not just an optional toy. Schools can support teachers with good training and ensure that every student has a fair and reliable access of technology for learning purposes. So, in the end, the goal is to make sure that the iPad acts as a bridge to knowledge, not a barrier. It should be a window to new ideas, not a wall that blocks the lesson. By working together, we can create a learning environment where the technology serves the student. We can transform the iPad from potential distraction into a constant partner in educational to help every student achieve their full potential. The future of learning is digital, but it must also be intentional, mindful, and always focused on the real life student holding the device. Thank you.